You're tuned into One Heart Live, a new show bridging the gap between you and the Caribbean. And this week's show is part of our specials. It's a special series, and we're going to be turning our attention onto the media this week. Now, in the last part of the show, we looked at how the Choice FM story has evolved and the broader context of radio as well. Now, before we come back to some of your thoughts, we're actually going to have a look at to see what some of you are saying as well at home. And you've got lots to say on this, loads to say on this, in fact. So, can you see we've got a monitor here, guys, so you can see what's happening. And so that top tweet there, I think I need to just have a little bit of a refresh, but we can see Melissa Miles, Miss Melissa Miles. Great black media discussion on One Heart. Very honest, if it needed to be said. Great work all round. Good. More of that still to come. Hi to you as well. And we've got here BP Achimpong. Hello. Big hello to you, Bernard. And he says, whoa, at One Heart TV on Black British Radio. So much to say on this. Kermit sips tea, of course. Bernard, give us a call. We'd love to hear what you've got to say. If you've got loads to say, don't sip your tea. Give us a call and get involved in the conversation as well. And should we take one more as well? So we've got Carib Direct, One Heart TV. So sad Choice FM is no more. Jack Sheps, DJ Martin J from back in the day is on the show. Yeah, acknowledging that you're on the show. Yay! Yeah, and we've got more guests lined up for you coming up a little bit later on as well. But we touched on it before. We're actually going to move the conversation now onto looking at how technology has changed the face of media and how we consume it, how we make it, and how we distribute it. So before we get involved in that conversation, we're going to have a look at another film. Take a look at this.
In the technology space, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos is the latest billionaire to buy a struggling newspaper after Warren Buffett. And it's no secret the newspaper industry has been shrinking as readership plummets and ad revenue disappears.
In the last 50 years, the way the public consumes their information has seen significant changes. Once, newspapers were the go-to source for the latest news until the 1960s, when television became increasingly popular. The biggest slump in the circulation of newspapers was in the 90s, with the spread of the internet and the rise of 24-hour news channels.
At any point, anyone today can become the most important journalist in the world. You know, if you're in the right place at the right time and you have your phone, sending out one sentence could change the world.
In more recent years, digital platforms such as Facebook and Twitter have provided new ways for people to access information. Social media has enabled people to personalize the news they consume, and the option to share posts on sites such as Facebook has enabled people to spread real-time news. A recent study reported that 86% of Twitter users use the service for the news.
You know, if you're a journalist on the ground, if you don't have access to, you know, the fire hose, to that data feed, to send that information out immediately, the information is going to get out before you. And, you know, if you're not connected, you might as well not be there. You know, the other big challenge is monetization. Like, how are these companies going to survive?
Right. Because that whole model is completely changed now.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just served by, you know, an ad in a newspaper and, you know, the stories on the side. Now there's whole industries covering this.
I think no one disagrees with this, but that's why media companies are losing money, they're on the decline.
With more global news sources, UK websites such as caribdirect.com and grimedaily.com can relay the news to their audiences.
Gosh, there's so much there, isn't there? And so many different mediums now in regards to social media itself, which is what you were picking up on before, Ruby, and talking about how 1Extra had a bit of a head start because of the knowledge, I guess. So talk to us some more about what you were saying in regards to the importance of social media.
I just think, especially with black audiences, I think black audiences tend to actually experiment faster with these types of media because they're not satisfied with what's actually in the mainstream.
Right.
So I think when you're a broadcast medium, and if you're trying to attract that particular audience, you need to be on top of what people are actually utilising. You need to be on top of the fact that we're probably going to have more than one mobile phone. You know, mobile phone in a lot of black countries is the first screen. You know, you need to be on top of that kind of stuff, you know, and you need to just react to it and be very fast to react to it, not sit around and dilly-dally about it because you're losing audiences really fast. Social media is massive, you know.
Yeah, so that, I mean, it's interesting that you say because community wasn't being served in the mainstream platforms, that's why that social media became so integral. Kat, you were talking about picking up text for your news, but actually, you know, you're on top of it. This is where people are getting their information from. Have you got a preferred avenue of social media?
No, not really, because sometimes I just throw the phone away. Sometimes I just don't want to be, you know, engrossed in it. You know what I mean?
Okay, so actually, you actually put it down.
Yeah,
at the moment.
There's too many people travelling, like I said, on the trains and everything. You know, you're trying to style it. You're in a queue for the train, and you're trying to style moving ahead. So what you do is you take out your phone as an excuse just to move forward, just because you're pretty. No, that's not working. No, put your phone away. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We're on the underground. You have not got any reception right now. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need to throw it away and just not have it. Because what's everyone going to do? If you lose your phone, you're going to start freaking out.
Yeah,
leave
it at home. Don't need to lose it. Just leave it.
In fact, let's just do this. Let's everyone just get rid of your phones now. Give them to me. Give them to
Challenge for you at home. Get rid of your phones. No, but don't. Tweet us till the end of the show and then do it.
Yeah, till next week.
So what are your thoughts on that? Are you big on social media yourself, Marcin?
Yeah, I am. Unfortunately, I'm a complete opposite to Kat. You know,
Okay.
I'm on the phone, on the trains, and I will set my phone up so that I can send a tweet in one station so that when I get to the next station and it connects to the Wi-Fi, I'll get responses from it.
Oh, gosh.
So I'm the complete opposite to you.
Fully plugged in.
Yeah.
But I guess when you've got a brand like Socavision, it's so important to be kind of on top of what's happening and be on top of it.
Yeah, I think when...
Tell us about Socavision as well, by the way.
I will do, yeah. When I came off Choice, for me, it was the end of an era. And I had to sit down and say, what are you going to do now?
Yeah.
Socavision was a way of me taking what I do to YouTube, recording interviews around the Caribbean, and basically bringing what I was doing on the Caribbean Affair to people via video. And I also did it via an internet radio station as well. And so the internet became my best friend.
Yeah.
And that's why I use it now to still do what I'm doing.
It's been such an integral place for people to create and tell their own story, hasn't it? And, you know, some of those platforms that we saw on the VT there have shown us just that. I know that you said that you like to unplug every now and again, Kat, and I know, Ruby, that you have done that, havenn't you? You kind of unplugged from social media for a bit.
I unplugged for 21 days.
Yeah. 21 days?
Yeah, I unplugged.
Completely?
Yeah. No, I did have Instagram. I like looking at the pictures.
but you removed yourself from Facebook, which is a really great place to get conversations, to hear what's going on. I believe people thought you had gone missing.
Yeah. Family phoned me up from Antigua and said, where are you?
But it brings people together from Antigua to London. So what was it like for you then returning to it? And did you feel like you were having to really go through a process of, I don't know, not rehab. What is it when you come off something?
Yeah. I didn't realise that.
Rehab.
Yeah, I didn't realise that what I actually was writing on Facebook was so important to other people. I think people actually went to my Facebook page as if it was another channel, you know, because I was so frequently on there. When I came back, though, I actually took myself off a lot of different sites because there's a lot of repetition that you get. And I think people need to actually, that's the next phase, people need to actually look at how unique they are in that social space. Also the negativity, there's lots of negativity as well. You need to actually remove yourself from a lot of that kind of stuff.
And is that, so was that your motivation then for saying, do you know what, I'm stopping for a bit?
I don't even know why it was that I was fed up, but I realised in those 21 days, and that when I came back, then I was able to take that stuff off. But going back to what Martin was saying, I think the great thing about social media is that it enables us to actually regain control of black media. You know, the fact that, you know, you don't need a radio station anymore, you've just got yourself, you can be the radio station, you know, and it can all be about soca. Nobody can tell you, oh, well, I don't think it's going to be, you know, I don't think it's going to hit the market, I don't think you're going to have enough people, all that kind of stuff. You've got your market is a global market. You know, and I think that's the great thing, and that's the next story, the positive story for black media, I feel.
I think you're absolutely right in regards to that being the positive story, and of course it's a way that we can have these interactions with our audience live and direct as well, which is a really great thing, which however many years ago we couldn't do, but radio was perhaps the only place we could do that. So we've heard about Socavision. Tell us about what's coming up for you as well, because I know you've got Black Music Canteen.
Well, I've got a production company where I make radio programmes, or it's quite new, I'm about to make radio programmes programmes, and also film, which I never anticipated actually doing when I left the BBC. So I'm actually making a film about UK hip-hop at the moment called Under the Influence, which is going to be presented by Rodney P, who is a legendary UK rapper. And it's all about the UK MC voice in British popular culture and how it's actually you know, influenced British popular culture, not just black music, but also other music forms as well.
And that really ties in beautifully to what you said before about just letting younger generations recognise that it didn't start, for example, with SBTV, and in this case it didn't start with, I know, Captain Conan, but there were people before that like Rodney P really paving the way. And I just want to mention as well that we've got another tweet come in saying, actually, why are we crying over Choice when the owners sold it? It wasn't taken away. Thank you, DJ Fridge, for mentioning that. What do you think about that?
Who was crying? Because I know I didn't cry.
You know,
I know I didn't cry.
And
I saw a little tear there.
No, because you have to remember, I do things. Remember, I do the radio, I do the television, I do the writing, I do acting. I didn't cry. Remember, when it's not your time, then, or when it is your time, it's your time. I don't own the radio station, so when they say we're coming to an end with your contract, it's like, cool, buy me out, I'm all good. You're not going to hear no noise from me. I don't own the brand. So whoever it is, you know what I mean, I weren't crying, so you need to make that more clear on who was smiling.
You could have a whole programme about this, but the fact that Choice wasn't... When Choice got sold to a company, that company then got sold to another company, that then got sold to another company, and it was a third company that just said, we don't need you. That was the difference. So when that owners of the original Choice sold Choice on, they never had it in their intention for it to end up the way it did.
Well, you know what? This is just scratching the surface of the conversation, isn't it? And I really appreciate you guys coming in and adding your voice to this. I'm sure it's going to continue raging on social media as well. So keep an eye on your Twitters, and of course we'll be coming back to some of the tweets that you have given us as well. So Ruby, thank you so much for joining us on the sofa. I know you've probably got so much more to say.
I've got so much.
And Martin, thank you so much for joining us as well. There's still so much more to come on the show, so make sure that you stick with us for part 5. So we're going to go for a break, and we will see you very soon.